you very much. How many people here use Instacart? God bless you. Okay. We're here to share with you this afternoon our insights journey at Instacart. And when we talk about our insights journey, it's a little bit different than what you've been hearing so far today. It's our insights journey into creating a suite of insights for our advertising clients and doing it from scratch and doing it in a very short period of time. So our goal overall in developing our insights teams were to help brand advertisers better understand their business and identify opportunities for growth. And we do this utilizing all the data that's on the Instacart platform in an aggregated, anonymized, and retailer-agnostic way. So, my name is Marty Seward. I am Senior Insights Manager at Instacart. My team, Insights, what we do is we're the primary day-to-day point of contact for our clients and our sales team to address questions that they have. Rachel, my colleague, is going to be speaking later in the presentation. She works on the media analytics team, and her team analyzes individual advertising campaigns to understand performance. So today's agenda is pretty straightforward. We're going to give you a little bit of a history lesson on Instacart, and after that I'm going to go into my section and talk about examples of what we do on the Insights team and how they've progressed over time. And then I'm going to turn it over to Rachel to do the same thing for the media analytics team. So most people probably don't know that Instacart has actually been around for 10 years. We started in 2012, where our three founders were actually going to the grocery store, buying products, bringing it home, and taking pictures of them in their living rooms in order to post up on the site. So we have very humble beginnings. But in 2014, we expanded to 10 markets, including New York, Los Angeles, and Portland. And in 2015, we actually ran our first promotion on the site, which was a delivery promotion. In 2017, we went nationwide with key partnerships with some of our big retailer partners. And that same year, we actually launched into Canada, starting to serve Canada. In addition, we officially launched our Instacart Ads business. Our sponsored ads business, which is essentially paid search, that came up in 2019. And if you can believe it or not, we were manually tracking bids in Excel. We've come a long way since then. Of course, 2020, the pandemic, hats off to the team at Instacart for managing through exponential growth in a very short period of time. Another big event that happened in 2020 is because Instacart believes that everybody should be able to buy groceries online regardless of their income status, we partnered with our first retailer, Aldi, in order to launch EBT and SNAP payments. That is something that has continued throughout the years as we brought up more retailers to utilize this method of payment. In 2021, we expanded into new verticals, so people think we're just groceries, but we're not. We're partnering with Best Buy, we're partnering with Staples, we're partnering with Sephora, Dick's Sporting Goods, and others. So we really do cover the gamut in terms of categories. And that brings us to 2022, where Instacart Ads were launched into Canada. And we've launched some new optimization tools for our advertisers to help them manage their advertising on the site. And what's really exciting is we've launched new ad products. So we've got brand pages now, shoppable displays, and most recently we've launched shoppable video ads on the site. So that's a little bit about Instacart and our history. Now I'd like to get into the insights and insights function. So when we were building this insights function, what we wanted to do was, keeping our advertisers in mind, we wanted to build a function that not only told them where they were, but where they could identify opportunities for growth. And it wasn't necessarily easy. Our first employee, who's my team lead, was hired in January of 2020. We now have a team of 36 people, and you can see on the screen how we're organized around our clients. Job one for our team leader was to figure out, what do we have to do first? And to do that, it was about listening to our customers. What did our advertising customers need? And that resulted in understanding that what they wanted first was consistent and accurate reporting on sales and share. And in the next slide, you'll understand why that was more difficult than it sounds. But at the same time, we also had to start working on customer enablement. How do we help our customers set their strategy? And I'll walk through an example of that. How do we help them understand what's driving their growth? We'll walk through that. And then how do we answer some of the questions that they have about their performance on Instacart as it relates to situations like disruptions in your supply chain. And then now we're turning to better targeting, and I'll go through a couple examples of how we're targeting and segmenting the Instacart shoppers for our clients to help them understand how to better reach their customers and how that's impacting their business. We're not going to stop there. There's some things you can see on the screen here that we're continuing to build out, and we're looking forward to continuing our insights progression. So this is what we call table stakes. Our insights journey began by taking a look at our customers' needs and understanding that we could not consistently report sales and share. And the reason behind that is because this is the product hierarchy that we were working with. It was an amalgamation of hundreds of product catalogs from thousands of stores across the country. And in the baby care department, what you can see here is that baby food and infant formula and other categories are actually residing in multiple areas of the hierarchy. So what we did is we partnered with existing syndicated data suppliers in the CPG space to leverage a syndicated product hierarchy that was accepted among CPG clients. And again, looking at baby care, you can see here that the categories are now discrete, they don't overlap, and products don't exist in more than one place. So this enabled us to start reporting sales and share, first by creating reports that our clients would download, but ultimately what we needed to do was create a self-serve portal, which we have launched and we're very proud of. We're continuing to develop this, but it's a portal that, in my experience, is one of the easiest that I've ever used. It's intuitive, and it's got great capability. We update it with data every day. And in addition to that, you can get data down to the UPC level by day if you want. So this enables our customers to be able to go in and understand their performance down to a daily basis if they want, and by UPC. So we've done that. Now we need to turn, or we were actually walking and chewing gum at the same time, and thinking about how do we arm our customers with insights that would help them set the strategy. One of the first set of insights that we created was a path to cart analysis. So what is a path to cart? Well, it's really about putting into buckets where people who are shopping on the site were clicking and adding the brand or the product into the basket. And why do we do this? Well, it's important to know because if you take a look at the chart here, the largest part of each bar represents search. So for this particular brand, search represents about 50% of sales each month. And what is the implication behind that? Well, you want your product to show up. If your product isn't showing up above the fold, or even in the first 3 places if you're using a mobile device, chances are people aren't going to scroll down too far. So you want to have a sponsored product or paid search strategy that's going to support your brand to make sure that it gets seen. The other 2 buckets that I want to talk about here are the pink and the yellow ones. So the yellow is buy it again. We have a different set of ad products that are related to the buy it again. Buy it again is the list that helps you make a more efficient shopping trip. So if you use Instacart, you probably know you can go to buy it again and see what you've purchased previously, and then you can click on that. But you end up buying a lot of things. So if you don't have an ad strategy that helps push your product back up to the top so that people can buy it again, then you could potentially be losing out on sales. The same for Did You Forget? Did You Forget pops up at different times on the site as you're navigating through it. And again, you want to make sure that your brand has visibility. So this is one way that we've enabled our clients to set their strategy, and especially the foundation of their strategy as they continue to build with utilization of additional advertising products. Okay, so we've helped them set the strategy. Now what we wanted to do was to help them understand what are the drivers of growth. There's really only 3 levers that you have to drive growth. You can get more customers, you can get your existing customers to buy more, or you can get everybody to make more trips to buy your products. So this is a sales decomposition tree, which if you've worked with syndicated data before, you've probably seen some version of this. And in this particular case, what we were able to do was tell our client, which had about $1.5 million of growth in this particular period versus a year ago, that their volume was coming from 55% from new consumers to the brand and 45% by getting their existing buyers to buy more. Now, what we did is we take this and then we consult with our clients and make sure that it's aligned with what their strategy is. I mean, everybody is looking to grow penetration and acquire new customers, but we want to, we always consult with our clients to make sure that their performance on the site is matching their expectations. And then there are other questions that my team works with. And supply chain, you can't get away from hearing about supply chain issues these days. In this case, what we've done is we've combined a supply chain, one report with another to help explain to a brand what the implications were of supply chain issues they were having with this particular brand. The top chart, what's most important in the top chart is that green line. That is the items not found. We can tell our customers at the brand or down to the UPC level how often their products were not able to be found by our shoppers in the store. And we're able to plot this over time. And you can see for this particular brand, it started to go up around June and then peaked in January at 20% for the brand. So the question back to us was, is this having a negative impact on my buyer base? Am I losing buyers because this product is not on the shelf? So we correspondingly ran this leaky bucket analysis, and a leaky bucket trend basically breaks everything down into your active buyer base and then your lost buyer base, just to make it simple. And you see the red line there, that is the lapsed user rate. So we were able to show our client that even though they had item not found issues with this particular brand going up, it was not impacting their lapsed user rate. And by and large, when you took into account seasonality for this brand, its buyer base stayed pretty steady. Now, why is that? So a little thing about Instacart is we are an inventory-aware platform. So that means that products are not advertised if we identify them as not being in stock by the data feeds that we get every night from our retailer partners. The other reason is because if you've shopped Instacart, we ask you to identify a replacement if the item is not found. And the first thing we try to do is serve up an item from within the brand's own portfolio. So all of these things help us to mitigate issues for a particular brand when they're advertising on the site. And we're able to confidently communicate to this customer that their money was not being thrown out the window, that it was still effective in helping to drive sales. Okay, so with those two things under our belt, next we turn to better targeting. So the first new dashboard that we brought up was a Basket Affinities dashboard. This dashboard, what it does, if you're not familiar with Basket Affinities, is it tells you for a brand or for a category, what other products are most likely to be co-purchased at the same time. In this example, this is a snacks category. I can't tell you which category it is, but the category profile for Basket Affinities is here at the bottom. And you can see the average snacks consumer buys other salty and sweet snack categories. But this particular brand has a unique positioning within this category. And if you take a look at their Basket Affinities on the top, what you can see is that they have a very health-oriented consumer. And they're buying kombucha, they're buying hummus, they're buying yogurt, all in the same basket as this particular brand. So we were able to advise our client that if they wanted to grow their penetration and reach the customers that they wanted to, that we would recommend advertising in different aisles in the store that align with the Basket Affinities, so that because we know that people who are buying your brand are buying in these categories, and other brands in the snack category are not. And then the last thing that we've actually just launched is our first segmentation tool. It's a heavy, medium, and light value segmentation. And what this does is it helps us to quantify for our customers what the contribution is for each segment. So in this particular instance, you can see that the high value segment, while representing only 23% actually represents 50% of sales. If you've worked with these kinds of consumption distributions before, you'll understand that probably isn't a surprise. But what was surprising to this client is that almost half the growth was also being driven by these high-value consumers. So that means that we can sit down with our client and build out a strategy to not just maintain that growth among high-value consumers, but also figure out ways to move these lower-value consumers up the chain. So that's a little bit about what I do and my team does on a day in and day out basis for our clients. Again, it's about helping them to set their strategy, understand what's driving their growth, and then as we continue to evolve, listening to their questions so that we can answer them. And some of those questions are very specific around their campaigns, and that's what Rachel's going to talk to you about now.
Thank you, Marty. Good afternoon, and again, my name is Rachel Tarlin, and I'm actually a former member of Instacart's Insights team and a founding member of our media analytics team, which focuses basically on custom measurement for an ad strategy for our customers. So the media analytics team was started in late 2020, early 2021 with just 4 people, including myself. And since then, we've grown to a team of over 30, spanning across 4 key functions. Today, I'm going to walk you through our analysis progression, starting all the way from our foundation with ads attribution, and ending with our future state as we continue to build measurement frameworks around some of our newer product solutions. So ads attribution. The reason why this was extremely fundamental was that it really enabled our advertisers to measure the impact of their investment in driving sales on our platform. The methodology that we use for attribution really varies depending on the type of ad product. At Instacart, we have a whole suite, everything from sponsored product, paid search, to things like coupons and delivery promotions, to paid banner ads, and more recently, video. So all of those are going to have different methodological approaches when it comes to attribution. But to give an example for one of our most popular tactics, which is sponsored products, we measure attribution as sales resulting from a click on a sponsored product placement within a 14-day purchase window. So similar to how there is an insights portal, there's also a special portal for all metrics related to an advertiser's ad campaign. So it has their attributed sales, attributed units, impressions, clicks, everything that's their ads are funneling on a daily basis. And in addition to everything that they can find in the ads portal, one of the key roles of our team is to dive a little bit deeper and do some custom analysis for advertisers to really help them show impact. In this example, we're looking at an advertiser who is involved in Instacart's paid search. So we're looking at that framework, which just again, like if you imagine you're in the Instacart app and you're searching for something like crackers, in that given search is going to be a bunch of different advertisers and a bunch of different products, all bidding to be in that top search result. So we take those bids, we look at the relevancy score based on an algorithm, and that ultimately determines what comes out on the other end. In this example, we have an advertiser in the nuts category whose bids were at a level that wasn't supportive of their daily budget. And as a result, their campaigns were going dark really early in the day. So the metric that we're looking at here is their category share, and we're cutting that by hour. And you can see in the pre-period, when their campaigns were going dark early, their category share would kind of taper off throughout the remainder of the afternoon. But when they decided to test better funding for their campaigns to support their bids, they actually saw the complete opposite trend. And what we found was that for this advertiser, they actually had a competitive advantage being live during those later hours, so they were able to get better quality placements at a lower cost. And the higher the placement, the more likely a customer is to convert. So this is just like one way that we're able to take extremely granular data, like purchase behavior by the hour, and kind of simplify it and put it into a view that's actionable and tells a story. But Instacart, like I said earlier, has more than just one ad product, right? So another big theme that we get among advertisers is like, hey, I'm running different types of promotions. How do those work together to drive conversion? So in this example, we have an advertiser who was running both sponsored product and display banner ads. And we were able to take users and bucket them based on what they were exposed to and measure their conversion rates. So in this case, users who were exposed to both tactics had 1.8x the conversion rate of a user that was only exposed to paid search. We're really excited that this year we were able to grow our A/B testing capabilities. And so this is kind of where one of our bigger initiatives for this year. A/B testing is awesome because it allows you to take users, segment them into control and treatment groups, and basically measure them over the same time period so that you eliminate biases that come from things like seasonality or changes in competitive dynamics. This advertiser decided to test Instacart's optimized bidding solution, which is basically a really cool feature where you can basically have a machine learning algorithm completely power your search campaigns, and that algorithm's only goal is to maximize your sales. So for this advertiser, they A/B tested that, the yellow line, against their manually controlled campaigns, and we were able to prove that on a consistent basis, the optimized bidding campaign won, and we were able to run statistical significance tests in order to kind of prove that out with more rigor. But looking ahead, media analytics also likes to create measurement frameworks around some of our new product solutions. So I'm going to talk through a quick case study about our impulse placements. So what is impulse? Well, we observed at Instacart that a lot of people in regular brick and mortar stores really like to treat themselves to single serve soft drinks as well as candy, gum, and mints when they're in the checkout aisle. And so we wanted to recreate this experience online to create a platform for those types of products and promote the discovery of new brands. In this blended case study, we have a small sparkling water brand that decided to invest in Impulse, and they saw that their paid visibility on Instacart increased by over a third pretty much immediately. So in addition to being able to show them that 37% of their paid search visibility was now driven by these placements, we were also able to show that 86% of attributed sales that they got from that placement were from customers who were brand new to the brand, which for this advertiser was twice the rate that they were getting from other placement types. Looking ahead, we were able to show them that 27% of folks that bought that brand from the Impulse placement returned to make a repeat brand purchase within just 30 days. So those are all the case studies we ran through today, and we have 4 key takeaways. The first is to know and invest in the right foundation first. It's really important to have clean data that really speaks to your customer's language and is reliable in order to create insights that are actionable. The second is to prioritize capabilities that enable your customers to answer their own questions and essentially self-serve. The third is to build solutions and frameworks that help quantify new site features and enhancements. And finally, if you have to walk away with anything, it's listen and then lead. We really take all of our advertiser feedback and questions to heart, and that really is the driver of all the innovation that we do, and I think has been critical to Instacart's growth over the past decade. So that's the end of our presentation. Thanks for listening, and we will take questions.
I have a question. When PepsiCo and Ramiro was telling us about the way they segment a specific group of consumers. They show us they put a lot of effort, and they had 4 segments and even allocate their different products to each of their segments. And that flows throughout the process. But then when you go and you try to implement, you get a barrier. So if you go to TV, you can buy demographics. So you spend all this money on understanding a segment, and you can have the name status seekers, people that are doing this and this behavior and all these insights and all this technology to find what the passion points and all that stuff that we all love. And then when you turn and you are ready to deploy, you buy 18 plus women, or purchase behavior, or the segmentation is available to impact an audience it's not, you're not able to translate your segmentation into the one that you are buying. I think with technology now, we could be able to bridge that. So my question is, have you ever thought about using data to start building like programmatic audiences or something that you can give the advertisers the opportunity to translate their own segmentations into the audience? Because if you link what they want, who they want to reach with your purchase behavior, that would be like the mecca, like it's perfect. I want to have my frequent, you see what I mean? So beyond the behavioral analytics that you show in the platform, like, are you looking into that, I guess, synchronization of data? I don't know how to call it.
Yes, it's definitely something that our customers have raised to us and would like to do. Currently, it's not something that we have the capability to do, although I don't know what, Pepsi is a very good partner with us, and I don't have specific visibility into what Pepsi does. Right, I can't say what they might be doing to try and make that connection between the two, but currently we're not able to ascribe segmentations into our user-based data. There's reasons behind that I could get into, but they're primarily legal and involving our retailer relationships. So it definitely is something we would like to be able to do. We know that we offer up the best possibility to make that connection. It's just, I think it's my personal opinion, and this is just my personal opinion, it's a matter of when, not if.
Yeah, I would agree, and that's an excellent point. If I could quickly add to what Marty just said, I think while we don't have that level of capability yet, I think we do have targeting solutions that are, help advertisers achieve similar goals. So when advertisers put together these demographic groups and these customer segments, a lot of what they're trying to do is reach a group of customers that either their brand struggles to penetrate in the past, or maybe is like, a group that they're trying to derive loyalty from. And so we do have tools where you can essentially use like display banner ads and target users who've never bought your brand before or who purchased in certain categories or who are brand loyal in order to get their lifetime value to increase. So we do have capabilities that help advertisers to achieve some of their overall end goals. Mm-hmm.
It's Andrew here. Amazing, really good presentation. You can see that this is clearly a company built with like data and data science at its heart. And to that, are you going to see that with Instacart as you grow, does data become a revenue stream for you, or is it always just a value add for the partners you work with?
So currently, depending on your investment level, we provide analytics kind of in a scaled way. So the Insights portal for anybody that's spending money with us, that's available to you. And then some of the other insights are really dependent on customer need. We, on the Insights team, have the ability to make the judgment call. Will this help us move the business forward with them? But right now, we don't charge for our insights.
My second question is more of a business question, just of how do you think the pay later space is going to impact like Instacart, if at all, and are you guys looking into that?
It definitely has been brought up. We have a weekly Ask Me Anything with our CEO, and I think we're both just really impressed with the transparency, down to the details like pay later. And pay later was actually just brought up in one of them.
Right, right.
So I think we're studying the question, but I don't think we are there yet in terms of understanding what the impact will be.
Thank you.
We got time for one more question.
Thank you, guys.
Hi. I'm very, very impressed on how you built a team in such a short amount of time and kind of squeezing the insights out of all that data you collect. I'm just wondering, I didn't hear anything about you getting feedback from, one of the biggest engines that drives your business, which are the shoppers themselves, and how the experience works in delivering the cart and the frustrations they may be having in doing that and working with clients. So,
Yeah, that's
do you
good.
do any of that work?
So not our team, but we do have a analytics team that's dedicated to shopper analytics and operations and support on that whole side of the business. Where there is some overlap are things like not found rates, replacements, the reasons for those replacements, and that is data that we do look at and analyze to the extent that Marty kind of talked about earlier with those trend graphs.
Thank you, guys. Great presentation. When you talk about the syndicated data and shopper marketing analysis, do you see yourself as an extension of syndicated data providers? Because from your presentation, I understand that you do similar custom hierarchies, heavy, medium, etc. Or you're trying to do something different. That means combining panel with POS, or doing some kind of analysis which two other providers cannot deliver to Pepsi or retail clients. So because you are the retail outlet, right? You become one of them. So how would you describe that? Thank you.
Okay, so the existing syndicated data providers, we actually partner with them, as I mentioned, on some aspects. Yes, they would like us to share data with them. That becomes a very tricky conversation because retailers believe that they have some ownership over that. And there are already existing cooperation agreements in place between Nielsen and IRI and SPINS with the retailer. So it's a very complex question. All I can say is I think it's going to evolve over time, and it's going to be incremental steps.
Awesome. Well, y'all were great. Personal story about Instacart professionally, outside of me obsessively using y'all and getting my Delta Sky Miles. I was actually part of the Tenuity team when they were like one of the first agencies that worked with y'all. And so seeing 2019 a partnership to 2021, damn good job. So thanks for all you do, and thanks for a phenomenal presentation. Give them a hand, y'all. Great job.